What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to talk about what it means to have your Venus in your partner's 11th house in synastry. So in astrology, Venus represents love, relationships, beauty, harmony, and the 11th house shows friendship, communities, social circles and networks, and of course your dreams and your aspirations too. So when someone's Venus comes into somebody else's 11th house in synastry, this can show the Venus person kind of really having a strong attraction towards the 11th house person's social group and social circle, and kind of finding a lot of enjoyment with being able to be a part of the 11th house person's community and social connections and groups. This placement can also show that the Venus person is very drawn towards the house person because they may take a liking to and be very supportive of the house person's dreams and goals and their values, and they even want to kind of support the house person when it comes to being able to achieve those goals and those dreams and aspirations, and they can share in those aspirations and their values. And that's on one hand, but on the other hand, this placement can also show that the Venus person can be kind of seeking a more platonic and more of a social connection with the house person, and they may want that over being able to pursue a more romantic relationship with the house person. And this placement can show that both of them can really enjoy being able to spend time together and being able to spend time with each other's social groups, and a lot of fun associated with being able to, kind of partner up and spend time together. But this doesn't have to mean that they are pursuing a romantic relationship and a romantic connection, but they can still not necessarily feel a strong romantic connection with this synastry placement, unless of course if other planets and aspects in each of their natal charts are kind of pointing towards other kind of dynamics in their relationship, and that will also kind of depend, and it could mean that they could be pursuing something a bit more deeper, and something that is going to perhaps even turn into something more romantic between the two partners. The 11th house can be a very fun and light-hearted kind of an energy in this between the two partners, and in the negative it can also show a one-sided kind of a connection between two people, especially if, say, one person wants more out of the connection than the other. The house person might be stuck in a friend zone with the Venus person especially. Also, one thing to watch for this synastry placement and the way in which the partners can kind of interact is that it's so possible to fall into this dynamic of having somebody be a fan and somebody be a celebrity, or somebody being more of a prize than someone else's relationship, and can happen where the house person becomes almost like a fan of the planet person, and the Venus person here can be almost like a more of a prize, or kind of take on that role in this dynamic, and the Venus person might also be more available to the house person when it's convenient for them. And that's possible in the negative. And if they are more malefic as opposed to benefic aspects, then it can kind of take on that exploitative kind of dynamic between the two partners. But this is only in the negative if the aspects are kind of more malefic. But in the positive, with this synastry placement, these two partners will always have that solid, strong foundation of friendship between the two of them, and they have this really fun and very light-hearted kind of a connection that's also very positive. And both of the partners they tend to be very independent and not necessarily nag each other. They're able to kind of relate in a very relaxed space. They can really get along with the synastry placement, and that's something very positive in this relationship too. Another thing is that the house person can kind of add to the Venus person in the way that the Venus person coming into the house person's social community or network or some kind of a group that the house person is associated with leave a Venus person almost kind of elevated in their status, and they can even benefit in a financial way through being involved with the house person. But their connection and their relationship can be one that's really based on them having shared interests, and also them kind of having this desire to be able to have a social relationship, a social connection. And it's possible that they kind of meet through having had been a part of something socially. So they can even meet in the club, they can meet when it comes to being able to come together in a friend group and some kind of event or organization that is gonna be more social. And their relationship has a strong sense of friendship, and there's also equality in their relationship, and they desire to be able to kind of have that connection where both of the partners are viewed as and see each other as equals in this relationship. And the house person may view the Venus person as being kind of a fulfillment of a wish or a desire when it comes to what they want and what they have always envisioned when it comes to a partner for themselves. And for the house person can also benefit from having the Venus person by their side. They could also have the social boost through having the Venus person by their side too. Even as a couple, they can really enjoy being able to spend time together and spend time being able to participate in social activities with friends around and kind of social gatherings. And they may have a lot of fun in being able to take part in those kind of things together. And also with the Venus person and the 11th house person, they can be that couple that doesn't shy away from being affectionate with each other when they are around other people. And it's noticeable to their surroundings, the community that is around them, their friends and everyone who's around them, the more affectionate side, because they don't shy away from being able to be affectionate with each other in the midst of groups. They could have also met through a mutual acquaintance or a mutual friend that may have kind of introduced them to each other. And also this relationship shows that in addition to kind of having a romantic partner, the Venus person may view the house person as also a best friend and a romantic partner. And the house person can view the Venus person the same way too. And there's just that opportunity to be able to kind of expand social networks, social circles, and even social statuses for both of the partners through this relationship. But when it comes to perhaps the challenging side of the synastry placement in a relationship, the 11th house can be kind of a more detached house to have Venus coming into. And with Venus coming in here, there can be kind of an emphasis of that tendency to kind of be more detached in this relationship. And so when it comes to being able to form the kind of bond that's going to have a deeper emotional connection in it, this can kind of be something that is not easily felt in this connection. It can feel as though they're connecting from a place that feels as though it's more detached, which means that it can feel a little bit more superficial, unless of course they have other aspects to planets such as the moon, which can indicate otherwise. And even the focus on friendship can also be something that can be great when it comes to them being able to form a solid foundation based off of that friendship. But too much of a focus on friendship can also mean that the romantic elements of this relationship can kind of get lost, especially if they find themselves spending more time hanging out with their friends more than focusing on the relationship. And it's very likely that they have similar interests and have similar values with the synastry placement. But when it comes to the individuals in this relationship, it can happen that they may kind of have different ideas on which of the social causes and things to do with social justice and even just community involvement are worth supporting. And they can kind of clash when it comes to being able to come to an agreement on that. And this can also be a reason for them to have some kind of conflict or some kind of challenging way of relating with each other. This can kind of create arguments and disagreements in this relationship. If they are going to have something to argue about and kind of get into kind of clash on anything with the synastry placement, it'll likely have to do with kind of something that has to do with social justice and having different points of view and community involvement. Well, that does it for this video on having your Venus in your partner's 11th house in synastry. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, to subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more videos like these. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and okay.